We are going to take a look at the little town of Luxor, Pennsylvania, which would have no existence if it weren't for the coal and coke industry. Just to orient us, let's look at Greensburg is over here. Here's Bovard up here. And you follow the Bovard-Luxor Road and you come up to Luxor. And we're going to pretend that we just jumped out of an airplane and we're parachuting into Luxor. Here we come. This is Luxor. Over here is that's what's called the post office. This is what's left of the old patch town. These were homes that were built by the Jamison Coal and Coke Company. This is new. This is a trailer park over here. The mine was up here. And what we're going to do is take a look at the mine. We'll come in right on top of it. These are the buildings that are left. This was the wash house for washing coal. This was a machine shop. There was a tipple over here, and the mine entrance was up on the hillside here. And there is a lot of other things around here you can look at. It was not always a coal mine in the sense of bringing things out from underground. In the 1940s, Socorro Coal Company bought the place, and they did a lot of strip mining over in this area, you could see. But there's still some remains here. And what we're going to do is shift to another program where I can show you some photographs of what was on the ground in earlier days. I have some photos from 1979. I have some photos from 2001. So we're going to shift gears here. Hang on. We are looking at mapping from 1876, and this shows us the house of Robert Smith Jamison, who is a guy who is responsible for the mine that we're looking at. He was the person who originated the Luxor mine and a number of other ones. If you've heard of the Jamison Coal and Coke Company, R.S. Jamison was the origin of that. This is Greensburg. This is East Pittsburgh Street. And his house sat up on the hill on East Pittsburgh Street. That's what it looked like. It's not there anymore, but by the look of the place, he was doing rather well. He came here from Fulton County, and he was involved in agricultural pursuits. He was a successful farmer. He was the guy who originated the Westmoreland County Agricultural Society. But along the way, he came to understand and realize that coal and coke was a much more profitable occupation. So by 1882, he was invested in and the general manager of the Mutual Coal and Coke Company. He was running the mine at Mutual along with some of his sons. And by the early 1890s, he began a mine at Donahue. This is the railroad coming out of Greensburg here. These red lines are roads. And he also, in 1892, began a mine at Luxor. This is the Alexandria branch of the railroad. Other things on that branch, Hannistown, Forbes Road, Crabtree, they were all mines of the Jamison Coal and Coke Company. Now, this is a topo map. This big red line shows the main line of the railroad coming into Greensburg. This thinner red line shows the Alexandria branch going north, going on its way up to Crabtree and other places. This is Luxor. This is where they founded, where R.S. Jamison founded his first mine in 1892. Luxor. Jamison number 1. The mine itself was right here. What I'd like to do is come in a little bit closer. See, here's Luxor that we saw previously. Now the mine was right here. This is a symbol, a Y-shaped symbol right here. It's hard to see. But right across the road was a tipple, and then the machines, the shops where the coal was ferried over to and washed, and in some cases made into coke, in other cases sent off to places in Pittsburgh where it was put in a byproduct coke oven. This was the portal, the actual portal of the mine. The portal was over on this side of the road, the far side, and coal was brought over and brought to this tipple. Actually, I believe the earlier tipple was down toward the buildings. But this is a nice shot showing how things adapt over the ages. This is from the time when Socorro Coal Company bought it from Jamison. This is one of the company houses from the Jamison time. This is another shot of that tipple. I did that shot in 1979. I did that shot in 2001. You can see some of the company houses over here. That's the tipple, which has showed some age. This is part of the structure that held up what I can tell was probably a line of the small gauge railroad that brought the coal cars down to the buildings where the coal was processed in the Jamison time. This is that tipple that we were looking at, and this here is one of the buildings from the earlier days, built in 1907. It was a building where coal was washed prior to coking it, turning it into coke and doing it other things. This was a day in 1979 when I was out there with a couple friends. We were looking over the place and trying to figure out what happened. This is that tipple right here. That's the wash house for washing coal down there. And I think maybe we've said enough for this one. And we'll be going to stop here and we'll have another one.